Thanks for staying with us. So if you live in Lagos State, this segment is for you. Please grab your chair and sit down and listen. In the last few weeks, we've seen viral videos and different posts of alleged designated locations in Lagos where the speed limit cameras have been installed. To be recalled that in February, the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation, in collaboration with Huawei Technologies, deployed new intelligent transport system sites to monitor and detect speeding and manage traffic flows, according to the Commissioner of Transportation, Oluwaseun Osiyemi. The installations would complement the existing automatic number plate recognition cameras and other traffic management solution devices. Join us on the show to explain better on this is the Commissioner himself, Honorable Oluwaseun Osiyemi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here.
We are very worried because we appreciate that Lagos State is trying to move forward to this mega city. But I don't want to ask what's the reason, but we kind of know the reasons. But okay, what is the objective of the government in trying to deploy these technology across traffic, all the various traffic roads in our state?
Okay, thank you very much and good morning, ladies. I think the first thing I would like to do is clarify where we have these speed limit cameras.
Okay.
Because there's been a lot of stories, so many things in the media space that we need to actually clarify this morning.
Okay.
We have speed limit cameras at 3 locations.
Okay.
One, Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way, that's that Naita Road in Ikeja. Alakpere, and then the 3rd Mainland Bridge. Those are the 3 locations where we have the speed limit cameras. The ITS cameras we're talking about, we have also have in Oluwaseun and Allen Junction. Those cameras are meant to do certain things. One, if you jump the red light, reversing onto the highway, lane discipline cameras, that's what those cameras are meant to do. They are not speed limit cameras. Where you have speed limit cameras are 1, Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way,
Yes. Bridge.
Alakpere, and then
Alakpere is here now.
Alakpere, yes.
So
We follow all those routes. So the thing is, we are in the line of
All
three. But I think that the concern for a lot of Nigerians about the Lagosians about the speed limit camera is how come it seems to affect the private citizens. They don't see how it affects public transport because we don't think that they seem to drive like they're above the law, and to a large extent they get away with it because they do it back to back and nothing happens. But we, the private citizens, just one day when we are rushing to get to school runs in time, we receive text message, the next day that we have done something we should not have done.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the truth of the matter is, for private citizens, so to say, they are more of the formal sector. It's all about data. We have more data on the private people than the public, which is why you see a lot of infractions being caused by the commercial buses. But of course, we've taken steps to curb and to correct those anomalies. And one of it, the medium and long-term step we've taken is the bus reform initiative. The bus reform initiative is one that, of course, involves also registering all those commercial buses so we can have the data in place. And once we do that, and I'll give you a very good example. In the formal sector, in public transportation, where you have your BRTs and all, they are registered with LAMATA, an agency of Ministry of Transportation. If they commit an infraction, all you need to do is just pick their number and send to us, and we'll fish them out in 2 seconds. But we don't have that same data for the informal sector, which is what we're trying to do. So what data will do is it would give us the ability to be able to, 1, pick people up when they're infractions, and also be able to create more sanity on our road.
Okay, so are there indicators for this speed limit cameras, like on the road, so that the motorists can actually see that on 3rd Mainland Bridge, when you're getting on or getting off, or at the different points, that you should not exceed the setting limit? Because, you know, Nigerians, Nigerians, allegedly, they say Nigerians don't read. So are there indicators to tell people what to do and what not to do?
Oh, yes, there are signages. There are speed limit signages all over, you know. And what international standard practice says is that you must have a minimum of, there mustn't be more than 800 meters between those signages.
Okay.
It mustn't exceed 800 meters. So if you have a 4-kilometer road, for example, it means you must have minimum 5 speed limit signages. You know, so there are signages that will, of course, say to you that, oh, for this corridor, you must not exceed a particular speed limit. If it's 80, for example, it means you shouldn't do more than 80. You can do below 80, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really, those signages are meant to, of course, inform you and show you that, look, this corridor, you need to slow down, calm down, and do not exceed this limit. And it's done worldwide.
Okay, so I'm just here wondering, because according to information, the ITS system is supposed to complement already existing automatic number plate recognition cameras and the like. So have there been processes where we've test run all of this as a comprehensive whole to see its workability? And do you think that going forward, we will see expansion into probably other routes across Lagos?
Oh, yes. The ANPR camera they were talking about has been around for over 2 years now. That's the one that speaks to your road safety, your roadworthiness, your expired insurance, vehicle licenses. If it's not done and the camera captures your plate number, what it does is sends a text message to you saying, oh, you have a fine because you've not renewed your papers. You know, it's just an update and to complement what we have on ground. You know, that's what the ITS is for. And also the ITS camera is meant for also data gathering, so that as a ministry we can go back and plan infrastructure, transportation infrastructure, and also how to plan routing on our roads. So yes, they are there, they've been there, and the ITS solution is just meant to complement. The speed limit cameras that we see now are the new ones, and we're going to replicate all over Lagos over time.
Okay, because I wanted to say, it seems to be some people that are getting the hits. Other people are not getting that Lekki axis. They also drive like
that. That's the expressway.
No, well, that's that road. But I wanted to ask, because when you drive abroad, if you use like all these Waze app, they'll tell you speed limits, speed camera, approaching the speed camera, police at this junction.
It beeps.
Are we? Yes. Are we? Do we have that here as well? That you would get that information that there's a speed limit camera or integrated into Google or all those?
Yes, you will get that. And interestingly, we just launched an app, My Lagos app.
Okay.
On that app,
you have
yes. On that app, you have like your Waze or your Google map. It will show you, you can pick directions, it can show you to where you're going. But the beauty of that is that it would also pop up. If, for instance, there's an accident in front, it would indicate and tell you exactly what's going on, so you can reroute your ways.
I
mean,
so I've heard about that Lagos app. I wasn't really sure what it was about. I heard about it, but we didn't get enough information. So just give us a rundown a bit of what the app tells you.
My Lagos app is an app, of course, for Lagos State, which speaks to a lot of things that we do, from transportation to tourism, to information from maybe Ministry of Environment, you know, and then we also get feedback on that app. It's a one-stop shop where you can get all of what you want. Remember what happened in December, the 30th December? People coming back, not knowing exactly where to go, you know.
So the app will tell you where the party's at.
Absolutely. The spots to go, where the kind of hotels you can pick. It would even tell you, give you a calendar of what's going to happen from...
Fantastic. That's good. There's a question in my head concerning the speed limit. So now, if I drive 120 and the camera picks it up, what happens?
So the camera picks or sends it back to the back office, and then the back office processes and sends it to you.
Yay! Is that like for real?
Oh yes.
I've not got to. I did 100 the other day. Nothing happened.
Where did you do that?
On 3rd Mainland Bridge.
So, but is it realistic to have? Is it realistic to ask us to drive?
They take the picture. They took a picture of my car, where it happened, everything.
Okay, so on 3rd Mainland Bridge, I need to speak to you about that. Presently, you know, 3rd Mainland is a federal road.
Yes.
Within the states. So FRC did set the 80 kilometers per hour limit, but we've reviewed it, and we've said it's a bit slow. It's also not safe to drive.
That's slow.
So we've there's a review and it will be upgraded to 100.
Thank you.
Much better, because that 80 will make sense.
I was just, because I felt like it wasn't, because you feel like you're crawling whenever you're
I
on
agree.
that, especially when the road is free. And when there's no traffic, you would want to take advantage of the road. But there are other things apart from that is happening to Lagos transport system that is aside from the, I don't know if we can ask questions, because for me, I feel that the conversation around our informal transportation system is very slow in implement. We're not implementing anything, and we've been at this conversation, at least on this show, for over 12 years, as in about 12 years, discussing the issues with the informal transport sector. And there is NUWRT, and every driver is registered. There is money being collected as charges, levies from these drivers. So how come we are unable to get them to understand that they are in a state and they must obey the rules? Because they are the menace that we're facing. Everywhere you see traffic, you would see either the yellow bus or the ones that are white. Even when you paint them white, as long as the human beings, the Korokways, they drive like they're driving Okada. They cause traffic everywhere. And as amazing as this initiative that Lagos is putting together, the governor is doing a lot of good things, but you have this group of people that will not make it work. You will see it. Okay. So what exactly, when do we expect to see something tangible, and what exactly are you doing as a commissioner to address those things?
Okay, thank you. I mean, it's the big elephant in the room. And I must say to you that conversations, like you've said, it's been ongoing for quite some time. And then picking up this data. Data does a lot of stuff and it helps in a lot of ways. Picking up this data, I think over the years, the ball was actually dropped. Some of these vehicles were not registered. And now, like I mentioned, the bus reform initiative, what it does, and I'll say to you, we can't even do it all across the state all at once. So we're using the Lekki corridor as a pilot run. And trust me, this started since September. So we had to engage a lot of stakeholders, especially the NURT people, and we said to them, look, you need to bring your people into clusters and bring them as cooperative, minimum of 50 buses per cluster, such that we know that this so and so person is responsible for this cluster, register all of those 50 buses. The Korokwes that you see on the express road, they are not going to be there anymore. We're taking them off completely.
Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that.
They are going to be in feeder roads. They're not meant to be on the express. We're taking them out completely.
Because they drive like Okada.
Yes, I agree. So, but they will be feeder roads, they won't be on the express. But of course, we're doing a lot of registration, we're doing a lot of inspection, because the vehicles that should fly those roads must be safe for people to get it. So our own VIS, which is the inspection unit, is currently doing the inspection for all of those vehicles to certify them well to be on the road.
Just to piggyback from what you've said, so if we're taking up the corporate buses, we have to be putting something in place to cater to the volume of people, of commuters who have to move around on a daily basis. So are we going to do some improvement to the BRT systems maybe? Can we expect any more rail lines? Because I know that the red rail line and all of those, will we see improvements in those regards just to cater to our transport systems better in Lagos?
Thank you. So a lot of data gathering was done, and we did get information on how many buses you actually need for this corridor. So that speaks to, okay, one, we are also going to increase the high capacity buses plying those roads, which means the BRT buses will be deployed onto those roads. And the medium capacity buses that will support them also would be inspected and will also apply those roads. Good thing you said, coming soon on that corridor is a green line. The green line will start from Marina all the way to Lekki Free Trade Zone. It's a project that will kick off, God willing, this year, fully backed up by federal government. You know, so you have the green line coming down that corridor. We have the BRI, and then of course, improvement of road infrastructure. So we expect that all things being equal, with all of those things we put in, there'll be serious changes.
Okay, good to hear. So what's the legal framework you guys have put in place for people that do not want to pay the fine, or people that want to contest the fine?
Okay, the Transport Sector Reform Law of 2018, of course, is the legal framework backing us to be able to, of course, create speed limits and also give fines. And also you have a window of 15 to 30 days to contest those fines, which is why we have a back office for every infraction that is being caused on the road. We have a video and a picture of it. so that when you come complain, we show you your car, the video, we show you, we can even show you the person driving the car. They are AI cameras. Wow. So your case must be
Lagos has to work.
Just go back to the good old days.
No. My plate number, the area. I said, okay.
Let me give you an example. Somebody was not in town, and then his driver took his car out and all, and then there was he got a text message. And he said, no way, I'm not his blah, blah, blah. And we sent it to him, and then he found out there was a driver that was actually driving the car.
Imagine that.
Please, I want to ask another elephant in the room question. So, who is responsible for, these are public transport people, these are buses, these informal but major transportation vehicles, that they don't stay in bus stops. You know, they drop it, they drop it by anywhere. And like if you say, oh wow, they don't even if anybody is in front of them, they just park and drop. We have some areas where there are infrastructural development was done to provide laybys, and they don't use it. And then you will see last mile officials standing and you see them, especially, let me give specific, the motorways bus stop. There's a massive gatehouse. That's where TVC used to be before. Massive lay-by that was built, but people will stop before the bridge, just before the pedestrian bridge, after, and they would enter it. And last mile officials are always there. So my question is it that last mile officials are not responsible? How do we ensure that bus drivers park in the proper way? Oronshoki also, the traffic in Oronshoki is simply caused by unruly bus drivers who do not enter into the bus stop to properly drop off passengers. Okay,
thank you very much. You're quite correct about the laybys, and laybys are built for buses or anyone that wants to drop somebody off, to drive in there, do your drop off, and then get by. But because of the behavioral pattern of people, it's not used for what it is. Interestingly, we've gone to do raids in different locations. Ojodu Beggar speaks to one. The Oworo you mentioned, coming down Third Mainland Bridge, if you see we have enforcement teams, we have LASMA, such that if we actually literally have to compel or push people to go in.
Yeah.
And then, truth be told, they are complying.
Yeah.
If you notice, the traffic coming down Third Mainland Bridge is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because they know that
when they comply.
Even Alakbere has reduced. Those last mile guys are not playing. You have to enter that labor. If not,
beyond the last mile guys,
my intern there. No, it's not me. I'm not driving.
Yellow buses.
My driver is there.
I know. I'm saying the yellow buses still drop at you know where the signboard is. They drop there. When you want to turn into Magodo, that place, there is the lay-by. They wouldn't enter into it. They will all block the road. And we see that happen. I wouldn't do that, because if I do it, they'll come and meet me. But the yellow buses will just quickly do drop off and go, or pick up and go.
Beyond the last mile guys are there, we have the enforcement and task force that constantly go around. You know, I must also explain some things to you. It's difficult to enforce, for the last mile guys to enforce there, particularly if it's their location. Because if they do it once, 2 times, they can attack them. So it's best for our task force guys to go and support them.
Yeah.
So they need to use a bit of emotional intelligence in dealing with these things. Yeah. Which is why you see some of them, we actually support them with policemen, task force to go, they go do the race. But like you rightly said, the enforcement is something that we're very big on, which is why we're not replicating or pushing out all the cameras at the same time. Yeah. We're doing it gradually. Absolutely. So
we have to wrap up with you, but on a final note, you know, so you told us where the cameras are, and gradually, I mean, it has been implemented, right? It has it's in effect already. So those of us that did 100 yesterday now, I might get a
it'll be nice to have your money.
I made the camera didn't catch me, because it was after I'd done 100, I was like, where are there's speed limit now? I had to remind
you were enjoying the smooth road.
Because there's no road. I mean, there's public holiday.
So the road is really
free. Hey, what's up to do 80? Anyway, but thank you very much. I wanted to give final words to Lagosians concerning the policy, the act, and the fact that you will definitely apprehend people who violate the new speed limit laws.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say and reiterate is that the speed cameras are not punitive measures. They are meant to be for strictly safety. Okay. You know, safety does not reside with just one person. It's going to, whatever you do affects your next man. You know, It's if one person is going to have an accident, it's just you, it's fine. It's not like it's the best we pray for, but it can affect, it can have ripple effect. So really, these cameras are for the safety of everyone. And I'm going to say that we should please comply, because if we don't, the fines will be set.
Okay, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we move to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. It was a pleasure having you.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.